All right, let's talk about the Los Angeles Chargers, of course, looking for a new head man. There's been a lot of rumors flying around about who the Chargers are targeting. And obviously, the biggest name the Chargers have been linked to is, of course, Coach Jim Harbaugh, currently with the University of Michigan Wolverines right now. And there was a lot of reports, and we talked about it about a week or so ago, that the Chargers were interested in Harbaugh and they were actively trying to pursue him using back channels. We have some new developments on it that came out today that I think should excite Chargers fans. Let's pull up the report, and then we'll talk about it on the other side. This is from Bleacher Report. The Los Angeles Chargers have emerged as the clubhouse favorite for Michigan head coach Jim Harbaugh, according to the Athletics' Mike Sando. Sando cited 7 coaches and executives throughout the NFL who believe, quote, the Chargers made the most sense, unquote. They want Harbaugh and he wants them. That's the important part. The coach said the Chargers. So I would think they would get that done. The Raiders want Harbaugh too, so the Raiders could outbid them, but I don't think that will happen. All things being equal financially, the Chargers certainly look like the most attractive vacancy. Los Angeles already has its franchise quarterback in Justin Herbert, and it's only a year removed from winning 10 games and reaching the playoffs. Some changes to the roster are expected, but a dramatic overhaul shouldn't be required. Jordan Schultz, another reporter, said that there is mutual interest between specifically the Chargers and Harbaugh, and that Harbaugh is looking to the NFL and he's looking for the Chargers to be his number one target to return to the National Football League. All right, so this is really a new development and an exciting development because, like I mentioned in the open, there were a lot of reports, and I think it was valid that the Chargers were actively pursuing Harbaugh. Now it looks like Harbaugh is very interested in joining the Los Angeles Chargers. We're starting to hear a little bit late that maybe the Raiders are in play here. That almost feels like a bidding war opportunity that Harbaugh's using to potentially spruce up negotiations. Hadn't heard a lot about the Raiders being very into the Harbaugh game this offseason. I think that's something you're getting from the Harbaugh camp, trying to give Coach Harbaugh a better negotiation position for anything that's going to happen with the Chargers. But based on these reports, it looks like the Chargers are very likely to land Harbaugh if he decides to return to the NFL, and all reports indicate that's exactly what he wants to do. Miles, I'm curious what your thoughts are on this development involving the Los Angeles Chargers. But first, Chargers fans, in the comment section below, is Harbaugh your guy? Should the Chargers go in on Harbaugh to bring him in to be the new head man of Los Angeles Chargers? Or is there another guy you want to be the new head coach? Let us know in the comment section below the next guy you want to be the Chargers' future head coach. Also, we have decided to launch a membership opportunity for anyone who wants to support this channel. There's a lot of great smart Chargers fans. We hear from you guys all the time in the comment section. If you like this content and want to support us, check out becoming a member. There's a link in the description box below. But Miles, let me throw it over to you now. What are your thoughts on this development involving the Chargers and Harbaugh?
Yeah, Nick, I think this is a great opportunity for both sides. And I think there's a couple of reasons as to why it may shake out that way. First off, like you read in the article, they both have mutual interest in each other and for good reason. As far as the talent on the Chargers roster, they're one season off of being like 10-win playoff team here. This is team has their quarterback. We bring up the Raiders as potential one. We don't really know if Aiden O'Connell is the future quarterback of the Raiders. It's an interesting proposition, but there's no short answer there. So you could be stuck having to find a quarterback if you were to look at the Raiders. The Chargers, no question. Justin Herbert is definitely the future of this team. Have a lot of great offensive weapons, a lot of great defensive weapons. So the Chargers, just as a whole, are a very, very interesting option for me for Harbaugh. Number two, he's coached in California before. He has a good lay of the land. You know, when he was over in San Francisco, it's not foreign territory to him. It's not Las Vegas. That's a little bit different than Michigan and Ann Arbor. It's still even a little bit different than San Francisco. So I think Harbaugh probably a little bit more comfortable in that California region. He's also at Stanford as well. So I mean, this just a guy who Las Vegas seems a little bit out of the realm of the places that he would like to be at. So I think that is another feather in the cap for the Chargers. And then finally, I just think Harbaugh is going to have the most control over this Chargers team. This seems like a Chargers team who's done a lot of things in the past. And they're starting to be like, listen, we just want to be good again. And we're willing to give whoever can get us there the reins of this operation. So I feel like that is the final third option as to why Harbaugh may love this Chargers opportunity, just because this seems like a team ready to give someone competent the reins and say, hey, please just get us back to winning football again. We want to feel proud of this team. So I think Harbaugh, great fit for the Chargers. Chargers, in turn, a great fit for Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah, and one of the things to consider, and I know there may be some people that say, "Oh, the Bay Area and LA completely different." Look, I get it. Obviously, two different parts of the state, but I think there's an important thing to understand that the West Coast, specifically California, does have its own stigmas and positives and negatives, and that does detract some coaching excuse me, some coaching candidates, some players. Harbaugh is a guy that, like you said, has been on the West Coast. He's been in the Bay Area. He's very comfortable in that dynamic, and I don't think that should be an issue at all. It is an issue for some coaches. The big part here, excuse me, is that some coaches can't handle the limelight of being one of these big California programs. How about Coach Staley? That was a phenomenal example of a guy who comes in. He couldn't handle being the head man in a massive media market. We've seen Harbaugh do that, not just in College Town in Ann Arbor, but we've seen him do it in San Francisco, an absolutely incredibly big media market with the 49ers, and do a phenomenal job handling that. Brandon Staley, at the end of his tenure, and frankly, throughout the entire of his tenure, did not look good at a podium. He did not look like the right guy leading a franchise. Harbaugh is phenomenal at that, and that's a big part of being the head coach. So obviously, it makes sense for the Chargers to want to pursue him. But I think Harbaugh sees this, like you mentioned, Miles, as a wonderful opportunity. This is a Chargers team that, due to injuries and due to poor coaching, underperformed their talent level the past 2 seasons. This is the #1 open vacancy throughout the entire NFL, bar none right now. I think the Chargers have a golden opportunity in front of them in terms of getting Harbaugh. I think Harbaugh's ready to leave Michigan. There's a lot of reports that some recruiting sanctions are about to come down in the offseason. This is the opportunity for Harbaugh to leave, and Chargers are waiting right there to scoop him up. And credit to the Chargers, because based on all reports, they're being active using back channels trying to communicate to Harbaugh. So right now, I know there's a lot of things still to work out, but based on the energy and momentum, it looks like Jim Harbaugh is set up to be the next head coach of the Los Angeles Chargers.